Okay, I have an overwhelmingly exciting show planned for you. We'll see how far we get along because I have in front of me not only Latif but the Asif. Oh yeah, the one and only Asif. And so, with that said, I'm going to get. There's not many comments. We're going to go through those really quickly. We have one winner. Only two people participated, but I decided to award a winner since the winner is going to get a free item from Mind by, and it actually says this in the description, Mind by Karen in 2024, and Brookite in quartz. Absolutely. So let's get to those comments. And then regarding the show, we're going to do something special here and get to as many items as possible. So it's going to be part show and go, which is going to involve sale items, items that you may have seen before. So I don't need to do a full description. So I'm going to show and go and get to the next item so you can see as many items as possible. The ones that require a little bit longer viewing, we're going to do that too. So be ready and pick out your choices in the order that you like so you don't miss anything. And if you do, you have another backup choice because a lot of people, they don't get to the item that they want. I have items that should have sold in past shows. I was real surprised that haven't. That's going to be to your benefit because you're going to get them this time around a little bit less expensively. I never mark items up much. Everything's usually below the market value anyway. So usually don't have a lot of room. But if I'm going to show them again, I want them to move, I want them to sell. And to do that, I will add an additional discount to that, or is that subtract an additional amount? Okay, let's get to it. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family, with lots of exclamation points. Very much enjoyed the show this week. Beautiful specimens. Graves Mountain specimens are awesome. I have to agree with you. If anybody is a rock hound, they have to know of Graves Mountain, made in the USA, and right here in Georgia, not far. And also, my friend Chet, the Quartz King, he has conquered, so to speak, Graves Mountain, and you're getting to see amazing, amazing specimens because of that from there. So we're the Arkansas Chickenite as far as being awesome. You can grab that chair. You won't. We got Chuck in the house, so be ready for that. Thanks to Karen for sending, so you could share with us, and that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to share her specimens. Not going to sell them. I don't think how fair that would be. Even though, wow, they are very saleable pieces. But I decided to give them away as trivia winner gifts. So I okay, well, anyway, I'll go on. Trivia. Now, the trivia questions were, well, let me just do it in my head so I don't have to waste any time. The trivia questions were name a different variety of quartz that was shown, answer being cristobalite. There's about 5 different varieties of quartz that are polymorphs, and we've talked about them before. Another one of them is like Le Chatelierite. That is a difficult word to be able to say. By the way, Le Chatelierite is the type of quartz that is formed on the inside of a fulgurite. In other words, the glass that the lightning bolt fuses, in other words, the silica of the sand, that is given a particular name. Also, I think it's trinitite, which is named after the first atomic bomb set off in the desert out west, and the quartz, the heat fused together from there, given that name. Different structural variety, but still only silicon dioxide, SiO2. Okay, so the second question was name the 2 different minerals shown that are alike, polymorphs to each other, but are different for what reason and their crystal system. So answer to that was rutile and brookite. Rutile, of course, in tetragonal, brookite orthorhombic. And other than that, they're both TiO2, titanium dioxide. Very, very commonly used as the whitener you get for your really white paint pigments. And it is used in so many other uses. And also, of course, the mining of it is real important because titanium is one of the primary metals used in when you need a lightweight metal that is able to take high strengths and so often used in the aerospace industry, etc. So, and then the third question was name a mineral or gemstone that was named after the country it was discovered in. And the answer, that was an easy one. I made them all easy. Brazilianite. That's why I'm surprised more people didn't participate. But then I realized it was Easter week, Easter holiday season. So a lot of people were not around, I believe. So, okay, we have so good job on answering those correctly. Next, Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Hi, Professor Shawn, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Happy to have you back. This will be quick since I have to facilitate my handyman doing a spring spruce up on the house. Enjoy the Graves Mountain and Slaughter Mountain segments if you ever want to really find fire agate. I showed some in last week's show. Check it out. And congrats to Miss Gabby on the What Am I win. And by the way, today we are doing another What Am I for trivia. And it's going to be faceted or cabochon gemstones only. So it's going to be a finished gemstone. What am I? And so be ready for that. As to the trivia, a quartz polymorph is cristobalite, brookite, and rutile differ by their crystal systems, and the mineral mentioned that was named after its location was Brazilianite. Very good. Happy to have several good paint drying days. Speaking of paint. Be well all, Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. And then we have Miss Karen in Texas. Hello there, my friends, Shawn and Raven. I saw your brookites and was relieved that there were some nice pieces and good-sized brookites on a few. Thank you for your continued offer, but no, I do not want any back. So I offered, after cleaning those up, you saw last week, that if Miss Karen wanted any of them back, she was the one that mined them. So, and she gave them to me with the mud kicked on them. She had no idea what was under them. I think that is so magnanimous and generous. That is, something's good. You just don't know what it is. But to give that away like that, that's pretty exciting. So it left me having a wonderful time removing the material as best I could. So as she goes on to say, but no, I do not want any back. You earned those. With the results showed, I'm sure you spent many hours of cleaning and prepping. Besides, now that I've seen a sampling, I'm sure I have, at a minimum, equal quality in my chickenite buckets. By the way, I've not touched, LOL. And we nicknamed it chickenite because when she showed me the bucket that she had mined, and she said, can you guess what these are? And it was nothing but caked in mud, and it really looked like a bucket of fried chicken. And so that's what that's from. Yeah, a specific kind. Was it look like churches or did it look like KFCs? Exactly. It was exactly homegrown, made in Arkansas. And yes, you're right. It went through a high pressure steaming. It went through 2 different chemical baths. It went through an ultrasonic and multiple different hand scrubbings in between. And still, in some areas, I did not get it all. But it can be gotten. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's see. I'll email later with trivia comments. Hating I'm not there first up to snag your pretties. I tried to get the silver ring, the silver container, and guitar picks, but already sold. Ugh. I can't believe there wasn't any guitar picks. We had quantity on those. But if the silver box sold, well done on that, because I was getting ready to scrap it, to tell you the truth, which is crazy.
Get the proceeds from those guitar picks.
What? The talent come with the guitar pick?
Simple idea. We called out the guitar pick case.
Yes, a guitar pick case. For people that were really into guitars and music or really have any talent, that you couldn't go wrong with giving that. And those picks I've sold at different times where they're actually drilled and have a sterling silver bail really nicely done on them. So you can, give them to someone that plays guitar and they can take it off their neck and use it. Very functional. My brother, who was very talented with a guitar, I gave him them, and he's the one that told me, and I watched him actually play guitar of considerable talent and what a guitar pick can do. And of course, to him, it sounds totally different than using a plastic pick or anything, because anybody, just changes like that would. It maybe not be something I might notice, but someone that plays guitar would certainly be able to. I wonder if you got a different feel, whether you used a lapis one or a tiger eye one, or maybe when the bloodstone ones. maybe you use the bloodstone ones if you're playing heavy metal. Heavy metal, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Metal and the bloodstone. Yeah, they go. And indeed.
And then you can't go on because you've lost your pick.
Exactly. We could probably assign each different type of pick to a different genre of music. Like maybe for the lapis, the blues. Maybe, yeah, the blues. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta think of something for the tiger eye. Maybe like the a girl band.
Ladies man,
A girl.
the Bengals.
The Bangles. The Bangles. Let's see. Girl tiger eye. I don't know. I was just thinking. Yeah, the Bangles. Yeah. See. Okay. Maybe I'll sell more that way. Okay. Then we have the last one comment from Miss Karen again. Good morning, Asif, Chuck, Latif, production crew. They're all here. Raven, rock lovers, and Shawn. Hope all is well. Well done. Wow, oh wow. I'm so relieved with the results of the chickenite pieces. I can breathe now. I must say the size of some of those brookites are amazing. Yes. I'll bring in the one I haven't shown yet because I'm afraid you'll want it back. No, just teasing. It's stunning. It has 2 brookites and it deserves to be in Mindat. So I'm thinking about taking a picture of it and putting it in Mindat. I must say, let's see, Shawn, you have done an amazing job removing the caked mud. Those take so many steps to get the results you've shown. I'm glad you found joy in cleaning them. As beautiful as those are, I do not want any return. You are so thoughtful with your continued offer. And remember that skeletal one I showed last week? She didn't even want that back. But no, those are yours to keep, share, or sell as you wish. I was lucky with the finds, and once the mine is reopened, you can bet I'll be back. I would be back all the time if there was something that produced what you have brought home. That's amazing. Usually I don't see anything of much value or in these type mines, the ones that have been open like that. So yeah, I would definitely, if I were you, go there as often as you can. I wanted the poison ring and then the silver hinged box, but someone beat me. Good luck to the buyer. But later I called and snagged some of the Graves Mountain Rutile. I'm in the market for a scanner to see what pretty ruby red reflection. Awesome. Please send me details on what to buy. You know, sometimes when you read, you don't know exactly, you can't hear the inflection of the word. So I'm wondering, did you really think the red reflection came from the laser? I think we were sarcastic enough about it that I hope everyone knows that it didn't come from the scanner, which shoots with a red laser, by the way. That's where we got that. Those rutile red reflections are actually a big plus with rutile, and they call them internal reflections. You'll see them description, red internal reflections. And boy, that was exactly the color you want in your red reflections from rutile. And the poison ring. Okay, so sorry you missed out on that one. I have another one that it's so beautiful. Raven and I had to discuss whether it was worth scrapping for the silver, because I can show you, we have a huge bag of silver that with the silver prices that we were going to make it this morning, send it off to the refiner and get in on the soaring gold price, even though it came pulled back a little bit, but still relative to what it's been, wow. It's amazing what 1 gram of 14 karat as scrap is. So let me tell you, all of you who have been clients of Gem Shopping Network, I've been here 17 years, so I know many of you have followed Gem Shopping and have purchased amazing gold jewelry in the past. Like I told Raven, with her massive collection of silver jewelry and other precious valuables and gold, that every time the value of gold goes up or silver goes up, she is just making money without doing anything. And so all of you that have purchased items, what the value of 14 karat is as far as scrap, in other words, melt, what we call melt, what it's technically worth in gold, is what pure gold was not long ago at all. So you have 14 karat going for about $60, $61 a gram for melt, unprocessed. And that used to be what a gram of 24 karat was. Only, I don't have the chart in front of me, but it was seems like only like a year ago, 2 years ago, not long ago. So those of you that have gold and haven't, of course, still sitting on it, wow, you have doubled. Many of you have tripled the value of the metal you have and own by doing nothing, by just sitting and possessing it. And that is the best way to invest is buy it and forget about it, and then just let it ride. And with those of you with hordes of gold, I like it when they find gold like with metal detectors in England and stuff. They always call it a hoard, and well, sometimes it is, but you know, a few rings and a few chains would be a hoard of gold at the value that gold is now. So, enjoy making money every day in the commodities market for precious metals, because if you have any gold or silver, that's what you are. You are an owner of a commodity that is seeing an amazing rise in value. So we decided that we're not going to scrap this other poison ring, and it's got moonstones and I think blue zircons in it, and it's got a carved moon face moonstone. You'll have to see it. It's pretty cool. It was difficult to get open. It had a special, really cool latch, and so I actually had to figure out how to get into it and open it up, and it's beautifully finished. So anyway, you may get a chance at another poison ring, and maybe another silver box. Have a great show. Once again, late as usual with my comments. Sorry, I didn't have time for the trivia questions. Cheers, Miss Karen. Yes, we were about walking out the door when your this morning just came in right before, so I quickly printed it out, copied it, printed it, and added it to the list. But if you could send it a little sooner, it might be good. One more comment for Miss Karen, because all of you won't know what I'm talking about. She sent me a picture of a piece of quartz that she found, and it is a bunny. I mean, like bunny rabbit. And I'll only say that because you have to see it. And I didn't get a chance to upload the picture. I also run a little behind, so didn't want to have him have to do something extra. But I want to show everybody next week what she found. It's really, really cool. And I think she's keeping that one. Okay, there we go. So we only had two, Miss Cindy and Miss Barbara, answers. So that's makes it a high percentage of one of the two of you winning. And in this case, it is Miss Barbara in Brooklyn. Let's show her what she has won. Take a look. And of course, already, you know, it's going to be a Brookite, but check this particular one out. And we're going to do a little zooming in. And okay, so you can see there's still some of the yellow clay. You can, Miss Barbara, while you're just sitting, relaxing, take something sharp and loosen this material up and then pick it out, because it will come out. And see that? So it just takes a little picking and loosening it up, and then a brush to scrub it. Now, this particular piece has some stunning highlights, especially for a freebie. This is your classic bipyramidal brookite crystal that the area is well known for. But some of the quartz crystals are phenomenal. And I was looking at this with some higher magnification. You can see the wonderful black, they remind me of black spinels crystals, but it's brookite, which is another polymorph of rutile. So you can see several of them here. And I was looking really closely. There's actually double terminated quartz crystals. There's quartz crystals growing across and on top of the quartz crystals. It's fascinating. But wait, here is the piece, I think, that is, yeah, this one. Okay, if you can see this and catch the light reflecting, yep, perfect. It is a 6-sided bipyramidal. So you can see the 6 sides to it versus what you consider often only seeing as 4, and especially in other ones on here. So that I found was a really special piece. And look at some of the condition of these quartz crystals are phenomenal. And pull away, look at that. Pull away some of the clay on these other brookites, and reveal them. So leave a little fun for you there, Miss Barbara. There is a treasure trove of goodies to be seen on this piece, all the way around with smoky quartz. And wow, look at that. Okay, not bad for free. Welcome to Miss Karen's Lucky Finds. Wow, look at that crystal right there. And these others, this is just a real treasure. I cannot tell everyone enough what a great find this is to be able to have these to offer, to give away, to give away. Okay, let me tuck that one away and we'll be back to start the show. I chose this one for the first one to show you as part of our show and go, but I just can't rip on by this one with any speed because it is a stunning specimen and I cannot believe no one purchased it the first time around. It must be the magic of the show, meaning that this has to go to a proper home that maybe the first person that it was intended to be missed it, what didn't see the show, whatnot. To get another opportunity at a price less than what I priced it at before on this is an incredible chance. Look at this. I want to show you. Here is Imperial Topaz from Topaz Mountain. And look at that beautiful shape and condition that crystal is in. You have a rhyolite around here, but you also have some neat crystallization. Then look at this. Look at this. Another topaz crystal. But the purple fluorite contrast, this is remarkable. This is the kind of stuff that makes the cover of a rock and gem magazine. Look at that crystal still. And that one. Then look at the additional topaz back here and here. And if you like to play around with specimen preparation, you can peel back some more of the matrix and rhyolite and expose some more of the crystal. Look at this. Look at this piece. So, you know, there's always the question of, is there more topaz within it? Most likely, but at some point you have to stop. You have calcite here. So you have calcite, and a lot of times what they'll do is dissolve the calcite away, exposing some of the crystals. And that's what you see, the white material. See the pockets down in there? Those are the areas that are left and where you can have, great work. And I love the new camera lens, where you can get, there's room for a crystal of topaz or something else to grow. That is what makes this material so lending itself so well to crystallization in those unexposed pockets. And when a crystal forms, it is difficult for it to be destroyed in removing a specimen, etc. It's protected down those pockets, just like that fluorite is. It's, you know, protected. And boy, look at that. I think that is remarkable contrast of colors and opportunity in a made in the USA specimen. Just a special piece. So to mark it down as much as I'm going to, well, I'm just going to anyway. This piece, I had it originally for only $128. It should have been, if it was put into an auction environment, because I'm familiar now in by testing some of these market. I just was curious because, as I've told you before, I found it very difficult to buy or compete in any of these auctions because the market value, remember, something is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. So the market value on these items were far exceeded what I would be willing to get them for, to offer them to all of you for sale. So in doing this, which has netted me almost no wins because of my low tolerability to items what I think are overpriced compared to what I'm used to in my collection. But this one, I can tell you, if it was put into an auction because of the aesthetics of it and being a made in USA specimen with the colors like that, it would really excel in the bids, and you would be looking at a $300 to $400 specimen at the minimum instead of $98. $98. That is the sale price and final price. In other words, it will never be less than that. Okay, I have some other treats here for all of you that you may get a second chance at. 1, 2, 3, 1724. 1, 2, 3, 1724. And another very colorful, very rare, and amazing opportunity that you get to have on this piece. Look at this. Look at those colors. Australian rhodonite. This is from the Broken Hill deposit. The mine has been closed. The mine is about the only thing where Broken Hill is that supports the whole town and community. The mine has been open for so very long and just recently closed. They actually may be looking for a buyer for it because it's still producing, but it is those things usually don't work out. So I would expect the mine is probably extinct for all purposes. And so therefore specimens like this will no longer be available. I had a couple of these. Remember, this is the one where I was standing with the dealer when he had these, and multiple very well-known dealers that go to and do the show circuits, none of them could figure out what the red stone was. That was to my benefit. And again, this was not doing testing. A lot of the dealers, minerals, they don't have equipment. They just kind of learn from look. And this one really stumped them all because no one thought it would be rhodonite. They thought zincite. They thought cuprite. They thought many others, but no, rhodonite. It never crossed their mind. So I was able to pick these specimens up well below the market value of them, and sold them for well below the market value of them. Look at this. This is galena, which is the primary lead ore, which is just lead and oxygen. And so you have these stunning metallic reflections in the galena. Then look at these complete rhodonite crystals. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it is on fire. Exactly. And look at the perfect crystal shape to that. You know, if it wasn't for some of the Brazilian rhodonite that has come out that is a facet grade, I would call this facet grade as far as rhodonite is normally seen and found, because normally it's an opaque stone. We had some last week. Was it the guitar picks, I think? Yeah, the guitar picks were rhodonite with the black manganese oxide, or black manganese oxide running through them, because rhodonite, remember, is a manganese silicate. So this is a stunning specimen of remarkable condition and complete crystals. And I do not have any others after this. This is the last one I have. And it's only affordable because it's smaller than the others and because I'm making it affordable. Look at that. Look at that shape and crystal shape. It is perfect. And wow, that shows beautifully. And to be able to add that to your collection for a opportunity price, indeed, because it was $248, and right now I'm going to make that one a amazing deal. Let's make it $148, only $148, and you can have something that you rarely ever see in the marketplace. Okay, now let me do a little show and move a little quicker on something that you're familiar with, because I have a couple opportunities on item number 125, and let me make sure I have the other numbers correct. 125, 6125. If you missed out on the Beckley's Mountain presentation of beautiful androdite, demantoid androdite. Look at that. You know what? That makes me think of doing this to just show. Look at the colors. This is Mother Nature. Nothing has been altered. This is the way these items came out of the ground. Their colors, their aesthetics, their beauty. Look at that. Look at those. So, look at this crystal. This is amazing quality for the crystal itself. Most of the Belkis mountain Iranian demantoids um, are not complete. The crystals aren't complete. This one is complete. They form in a trapezohedral, dodecahedral form. And this one, wow, it has also some, look at those reflecting off at the same angle. So you have additional demantoids and you have diopside on this piece as well, which is the lighter green material you see there that isn't reflective. But this material is as well. That's a beautiful, beautiful crystal. And that whole specimen was really as a single crystal one of the nicer pieces. And yeah, it was at $88 sale price now. Shouldn't be sale priced at all. You can't get this material. It is sanctioned, or yeah, it is now, not when I had made my wise purchase. And no one ever admits where it comes from. They always say either Persia is as close as you can come when you hear the dealers talk about origin. And that's if you press them. Most of them will say, oh, it's a neighbor of Turkey. Or again, I had an Armenian say, oh, it's close, it's from an origin close to Armenia. Well, everything being relative, what is close? That's just the lengths they go through to not have to say where it actually is from, because they think that we're going to, especially, items being sold in America, that we have a big prejudice and bias against Iran. Well, maybe politics and people, but when it comes to the poor little rocks and minerals, don't hold it against them. They haven't done anything wrong. As a matter of fact, I have to hand it off. When you go back a few weeks and look at the presentation we did when we first showed these, and we showed Belkis Mountain before in 2019, and then a picture of the same deposit in 2015, 6 years later, they didn't get real far. It's what's benefiting it is the individual artisanal miner, not the big company that comes in and rips out the whole deposit in a matter of a week. So individuals are benefiting from this. And when you can source from the right individuals that are willing to climb up that mountain, that's just nothing else there. How they ever even found it to start with, I don't know. But it is a super, super rare location to have something from. And yeah, so it should really be $88, but everything gets a discount when I re-show it. Make that one only $77. Only $77 on that. And that is an amazing opportunity because it's a single crystal that is complete in all manners. And that is when you see enough of this material, you'll realize just how special that is. Now, let's look. I have one other opportunity, and this is another gorgeous one that is available. 125 60 25. 125 60 25. And we'll put this. Now look at this. Whoa, huh? All right. Now, again, what makes this super uber amazing is contrast. The contrast with the calcite. Look at the calcite crystals right there. And that is beautiful. That with the contrast makes that stunning. Look at this. Let me get my pointer. Individual crystal right here. That is a complete, you see that? That is complete, meaning, and undamaged. Wow, that is beautiful. And then here's a large complete one. Now you see what I mean by some of these will grow, but they'll run out of room to grow, or in removing them from the deposit, or geology itself will cause them to not form completely. And so that's something you look at. So that one, no. This one, yes. This is a gorgeous crystal. The color you're seeing is exactly the color that they are. and that bright, brilliant emerald green. So this one is one of the rare ones with the calcite that I really like as an addition to, if you like matrix specimens. And look at the back of this. You also have diopside on this one as well. And that's going to be the lighter green colored material. And what you often see is like diopside matrix, like this material running along here is just a mix of diopside. This is a beautiful specimen. It was a fantastic opportunity to start with, but it's going to be to your benefit if you missed out the first time. It was only, that's just it. Compared to any place else you can find any of these, if you can. And remember what I showed you on that one specimen, that the price was reasonable, but I showed you it had been completely covered with saw sheen. And saw sheen is kind of a cheater liquid that you can paint on. It's actually developed for countertops, for granite countertops, for stone countertops, for the final finish. And it, though, has transferred to being used on crystal specimens to make them look prettier and fill in some of the voids, and thus you don't get to see all the faults. None of these have saw sheen because Raven won't allow it. She can't stand saw sheen. When I got a little bit years ago to try it, and she rebelled against it and just is so hardcore about hating it that we haven't had anything in years and years and years. So no, she's with me here. She's saying, nope, right to the side. Price on this, I'm gonna make it only $98. That's a final deal because that is an amazing opportunity. Okay, next I have, and this is going to be a show and go because it needs no other presentation. Item number 1220524. 1220524. When you have something that sells itself, look at this. Okay, yep. So this is how I keep the lid on if you want. This is how I do it safely. This is a lapis box. I cannot believe I have it available. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that beautiful? So you can see the natural pyrite in it, and you can also look at the quality of it all the way around. And of course, so with the lapis, you get pieces that are made and then it's assembled, because let me show you what I really like. It's lined with marble. So this is a marble lining, which of course marble is found, or a form of marble, sometimes calcite, whatnot, the white that you see in the lapis along with the pyrite. So this really strengthens it, and of course you have epoxy to hold it together. And if you like, for those of you that are clever, I can feel the edge of that. That can just be easily peeled up with a flat screwdriver to get rid of it, if it bothers you. But I really like it because it adds a lot of strength to the box, and it's still a natural stone that is found alongside and with the pyrite. Now, if you try to put the lid on the other way, it becomes obvious. This is so well made that it fits one way a little better than the other. And I can see now that is off right there. So if I turn it this way, and now it's not. So I had it on the first time the wrong way, and that is how well made these are. And don't worry about that. That's just a natural, well, you can see it doesn't go the way that you find in marble. And the way you can tell marble, you can see these little reflective reflections off it. That is from the metamorphosis of what turns it from limestone into marble, thus crystallizing it. And you can see that in that. All right, that box, I probably discussed it longer than I intended to, but this was such a cheap price to start with. It's crazy for me to discount it from here. So it was $68, a super deal. Now it is only $58. $58, and only one I have. So take advantage of it. Okay, now next. This is a beauty. Item number 125-6425. 125-6425. For those of you that love copper minerals, this is perfect. And so look at, again, the colors of nature. Look at these. These are completely natural colors. Wow. Look at that specimen. Multi-generation growth, um, and breathtaking as far as the formation and everything about it. Here's the piece that goes under the lid. Okay, let me show you. The DR Congo means the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And look at the botryoidal formation of the chrysocolla and the malachite. And boy, look at the blue chrysocolla here. That is beautiful. It's from what's known as the Katanga copper crescent. It's a band, and if you look, it forms a crescent shape of the copper deposits. There's multiple different copper mines along the copper crescent. So it's not copper crescent is a particular area instead of a particular mine. Now, look at all these little lighter colored botryoidal specks. That's another layer of growth on top. You can see in this part right here how many layers. So you have chrysocolla that has formed on top of chrysocolla. Look at that beautiful blue that you see there. That is the blue a lot of people like, and it looks like it's always wet. There's there's chrysocolla that's found that looks like that. You can see the tops of these with that wet look, they call it. But right here you can see multiple, you have multiple layers of generational growth, and including malachite involved with this piece as well. And then look at the back side of this, and look at back in there. Wow. Wow. If I was even a spider, I'd want hiding back in someplace like that. You know, that would be so cool. Until someone went and washed my home out with some of the other stuff they use to clean these specimens. This one, because it is susceptible to so many chemicals, you can't just do a chemical clean. But look at this. Okay, so you have this side. I wouldn't know which side. I thought this side was that side. I mean, look at that. So this is stunning. You can see how it would have formed. This would have been against the wall, and then it had. I checked it actually. I checked it for radioactivity, and no, this is straight up multi-generational growth. It does. I mean, some of these specimens, they would make a good creature on a B movie film if you just kind of expanded into that, like the Blob. The Blob, you know, if any of you are old enough to have seen the original Blob.
Here is evidence that the blob did exist.
That's it. That's right. The blobs exist. This is one of his baby blobs. And a lot. That's what you get when you get a show that's recorded away from everybody else. That, and won. I fought the Blob, and the Blob won. Oh my gosh, Shawn, you're losing your mind now. I'm singing. I promised myself I would. I promised myself I would never sing on TV, and I think I just did. If that's close you're going to get to it. It comes with this very appropriate label right here, and so that I'm not charging you extra for. Okay, I am discounting it, unfortunately, because you didn't take it at the very inexpensive price I had it at. You guys ain't gonna let me make any money. I don't even know what I make, because I don't even know what I have in them. So anyway, it was only $158. If I put that thing up in the right auction, I know it would go to. They love auction buyers. I realized love copper specimens. It doesn't matter if it's native copper, if it's azurite, malachite, anything copper, they run the price up beyond what I'm ever willing to pay for. So anyway, this one is still a Shawn priced item, and especially now with the discount, that all that you get is only $138. $138. And let me make a note here, because Christy will be saying, Shawn, is that the right price? Yeah, it is. So look at all that you get. And, you know, I'll leave any other discussion about it for you to discover because look at you have malachite banding, etc. Enjoy. That specimen is one that you can look at and look at and look at for a long time. Okay, let's have some fun because I can't believe this is available. 125 7125. 125 7125. And this is a jewel. It really, and it looks like a jewel. When you have something, look at that. Look at that. Oh, here you go. And this is a special piece, and it's the Vivianite. If you remember about the Vivianite, and let me actually move this up so you can actually see it better before Asif suggests it. All right, look at this. So let's hold it up against the white. So you. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. Look at that. So you can also see the color streaking. So what happened was, oh, that's pretty wild. I wonder if I can stand it up on its edge. A number of years ago, but not that long ago, in a bog alongside the Amazon River or in the Amazon basin, I've got something I'll put. I have my little stands, but that looks pretty cool. So this isn't an inclusion across there. Let me show you. See the layering? That's just where another layer is of the crystal. So a guy was messing around in basically a bog, a swamp, and the way the Vivianite forms there is in these pods. In other words, these nodules. I don't know what best to describe them. If you're walking in a bog, and you've heard of the bog man, and that was the name came out of England. They were finding perfectly preserved people buried in where they were doing technically mining for peat, digging peat. Peat actually burns as a fuel. Peat's the very first form before it turns into coal. And so if you fall into a low oxygenated area like a bog, all of a sudden, with no oxygen, the body doesn't decompose, and it preserved these bodies very well compared to even if you had done any kind of proper preparation. But this, of course, going back hundreds and thousands years ago, that it preserved them. So in a low oxygen environment, that's how Vivianite forms. And in a bog off of a river, they discovered all these pockets, basically these pods, they call them. And what they were basically like chambers, geodes that they in the swamp that they could break or open up, and inside were these stunning Vivianite crystals. Now, when you first find them, they're clear. Within moments of exposure to oxygen, they turn this color, green and greenish blue. And it's a iron mineral, mostly formed from iron, and they're really rare. Since then, because it was illegal at first, there is an actual claim on the deposit now. So it is, to me, legit to offer these for sale. Because prior to that, it was part of the extensive national park system they have along the Amazon River. But again, it's the artisanal miners that this benefited, just the individuals that are mining this material and getting the money, not a big company. So anyway, this beauty I have, it was already really inexpensive, but I want everyone to get an opportunity on this if you want to. $28 now, only $28 for that. That is a beautiful specimen. Technically, if you're really good, you could facet it. It's actually too small of a piece, but by way of material itself, it could be, even though it's got a hardness of like 2. So that would be takes your chances on that guy. Now, speaking of this material. Let's look at item 125, 6825. 125, 6825. I'm going to give everyone a chance if you wanted to upgrade your budget on the Vivianite and get something like this. Look at this. Look at this. It is stunning. And with that single bladed crystal like that, wow. Now, what you have with this piece, this is remarkable. This is siderite, the little botryoidal forms. You can see the positive and the negative of where, and they can still, as you can see, fall off like that. No, I'm not giving that with it. But that's called a crumb, and I guarantee the Raven will put it in one of her little crumb boxes, the Thuya boxes. So siderite, which is the iron carbonate. So iron, another iron mineral forms with it. This one is beautiful. Miss Barbara actually was going to get this one, but then she got sent another upgraded one, so which she really liked, and so this one would not have been available. So it magically is available now for someone else because Barbara kept the one that was sent to her and upgraded. And of course, she paid the additional money. Let me show you. Let me put a little backlight on this just to show you some of the beautiful colors and the blue. Look at, see the blue and the green. And this is kind of really stunning. The color is like a fine quality tourmaline. I mean, beautiful, but it's not. And look at that. So I had showed Raven how I wrapped this, and especially so that that crystal stayed like that. That is beautiful. Look at the thickness to it. That one, technically, you could fasten it, but it looks like it has perfect cleavage. This would split like a pancakes right down through there, is what it would do. But look how pretty that is. I have never seen material like that in this form ever until I had the opportunity to get in on that, and love it. Love it, love it, love it. That is a rare opportunity on that, and I shouldn't drop the price at all, but I'm going to, because that is what I do when I show something again, even if it's only a couple few bucks. Make it only $138 now. $138. It was it's the only, one of the most unusual pieces of the Vivianite due to the unique crystal, like it has raised up like that. Take your opportunity on it. That's a really beauty. Okay, now let me get another one. I have another really unique piece here. All right, let me break right there for one moment so I can get that one safely tucked away. Be right back. You get a chance at one of, look at how long that is, one of the amazing, long, beautiful needle specimens. And look at the blues and the greens and how they change color with viewing of it. This is a beauty and would look outstanding in a collection. Wow, especially sale priced. I don't think Christy will be happy with me because these take a little bit of extra special care, but I think everyone still deserves an opportunity to get in on them, especially sale price now. This one is only ready, set, say, sold, because it is only $44. No, $38. Make it $38 on this. $38, a huge discount, and fantastic opportunity. Okay, now I am moving on to something fantastic, and it is going to be a series of gemstones. We're going to show some gemstones, and I hope you get the opportunity to get in on these, because I tell you what, with me marking them down, it is a huge opportunity. But before that, we'll start it off by showing you one of the most unique, unusual forms of amethyst you will ever see. Item number 125. 125 6525. 125 6525. And check this out. Look at this. This is a remarkable form for this specimen to be in. Look at that. Look at that. And that is striking. Striking. And someone asked me a while back if I thought these were actually natural when they were coming out of Indonesia. And yes, they absolutely are. But the coolest thing that was discovered was the fact that it is amethyst, because they were calling it chalcedony, and they were calling it agate, purple agate, and it was none of those. They actually did a analysis of it, and the analysis came back as actual genuine amethyst and not any of the other possibilities that had been floated around. Now, this is a floater, meaning there is nowhere I saw that this was attached to a wall or anything else. So it might have broken loose at some point and continued to grow those really unique spheres of amethyst. And you can see they have like a micro satin look to them as you turn them. Yeah. See, as you turn them, you have that reflected light that you, the only way I can describe it, on those micro satin couches. It looks like, you know, that you could tell where you sat after you got up, kind of thing. This is a beautiful, beautiful surface reflection off of these. And some are just like barely hanging on to, it looks like, just look at that. It is remarkable. And on all sides. Yeah. 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 You think one side, wow, that's beautiful. Then on every side you spin this, it's a display side, and you can actually turn it in any way you want and change the look of it around. That's remarkable. That is remarkable. It says with label. I had a label for it. I'm not seeing it at the moment. So if that doesn't show up, I will wonder where it was, and I apologize if it doesn't. But this is the real beautiful deal, and it is found nowhere else like this. So I'm going to offer this less than what I showed it for before, but it is certainly worth considerably more. This was one that I had cherry picked, only $128. $128 on that, and that will be the final opportunity, because after that, it can go back on our shelf and we can certainly enjoy it there. Okay, let me get out my little tray of goodies. One more item here. Let me feature is item, and this is from the other collection I have, which is I did Made in America, all specimens from America, and the other was focused on my birthstone garnet. So this is from the garnet collection. It is item 12-021-24. 12-021-24. So for those of you collecting garnets, here, look at this. Here, look at that. Look at the colors again. Wow, wow, wow. A beautiful, beautiful specimen of Afghanistan andradite garnet. So we just looked at andradite garnet in the form of demantoid from Iran, and now you have this from Afghanistan. And it's just really neat to see the different forms garnet can take depending on where the location is. They can look similar or completely different. By the way, here's the label. I did find it to go with. See how they called it? This is an old label. It's an older material, though old being relative. It wasn't found that long ago altogether. They tried to call it chalcedony and then grape agate in parentheses. But since this label was made, it has been an analysis done, high-tech analysis, and determined by a real well-known mineralogist, geologist, scientist, whatever. You can read about it and actually find out about that. To be actual amethyst. So to me, that adds value over it being a chalcedony or a type of purple agate or whatever you may want to call that. All right, now going back to this, look at this. So some of this looks like some of the wonderful androdites that you might have seen coming from Mexico or from out west. Look at the reflections and the iridescence on some of these. You can see nothing like the Japanese androdites, but certainly this is a beautiful specimen. And look at this. I wonder how many of you would notice that there's a different crystal form hanging out on this specimen. Yeah, there sure is, right there. Look at that. That is not a form of garnet. You will not see any garnet ever form in a long prismatic crystal like that. So that is your diopside blending right in. Look at that. So what a bonus that is to have a diopside crystal, such a well-formed piece like that on this. Here is, look at this. Look at this. I forgot the other side even had more. Beautiful, beautiful specimen altogether with some fantastic shaped garnets on it. And now at a discounted opportunity, I am going to get this one, offer it, and for only $98. $98. That is a big, significant discount from what I had offered it the one time before. So I know there was another client that was interested in this at one point. So maybe with the discounted amount, you might just take the opportunity to grab onto that, because with the diopside, it is really attractive. Okay, now let's go through as some of these rather quickly. And where's the black pad that was on here? What did I do with it? Who knows? But do we have a finger for this? I have next a item 121-3124. 121-3124. And at first glance, you might think that this was a stunning piece of British Columbian jade. It looks even just like it, even with the black specks in it. Stunning, but it's not. It is one of the finest pieces of Pennsylvanian antigerite. Antigerite is a type of serpentine, and you could say it is the a gem variety of certain serpentine. This is sterling silver, and I even have the name of the mine that the stone came from, the Line Pit Mine, old stock, and you can see just how beautiful the quality of the serpentine is in a sterling silver ring. So I had showed this, it was months and months and months ago. I'm not going to change the price. Silver has gone up. And I had only charged $44 before. So I guess to go along with my rule, honor it at $42. So it is a better value because of the price of silver. It's a better value because I just marked it down a couple dollars. It's a better value because you just don't see that quality serpentine. So it's made in America serpentine with the sterling silver ring. All that for only $42. Come on. Hopefully it'll fit your finger, because it would be difficult to size it because of the width of the shank. That calls for a lot of heat, and serpentine doesn't take a lot of heat. Now, why have you there? This is the way I roll. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on spotting ivory. Yep, just right out of the blue, because this is what the Raven decided to wear this morning, and it's perfect for her. Look at that. Look at that. Incredible. So as soon as I saw it on her, I said, wow, that looks like old style scrimshaw. So when she got here, she took it off for me to look at it closer, and it is indeed genuine old style scrimshaw, even to the point where there is pink on the lips. They colored the lips. There, see the green on the leaf? That wasn't done. You have their standard where scrimshaw, they actually carved out the lines and then they antique the background. Usually it's always black. In this case, you can see green and pink, extremely unique and rare. Now, here is how you can spot ivory. It's real simple. If it's genuine ivory at some angle or another, due to the growth that a tusk grows in, it grows in length and it grows in girth, width at the same time. Those two angles of growth will create a diamond-shaped pattern, and it looks just like this. Sometimes you have to turn the item in different directions to due to the way it may have been cut to see it better. But you can see that diamond-shaped pattern. See how the lines go in two different directions, creating a kind of diamond look there. Let me show you. It shows well if you can go through the iris to show right below here. It shows up real well. So maybe iris, there you go. You're bringing it out. You can see, there we go. And then if we come in closer, you can see right below her chin, a very well-defined, what it creates, the pattern creates a kind of a diamond shape between the two lines of growth. And if I can catch that at the right angle, it becomes more evident. So when you see that, you know that you have genuine ivory. Now, the addition of this, because genuine ivory, I don't believe in dealing with, trading with, doing anything with, but here's another, see the diamond shapes? Okay, good. Chuck says he can see them, so everybody else can see them. They're two different directions of lines, and you can see that. Now, when you have really old ivory, you can see the dry line. See these little cracks in it, what appear like cracks? Also, look at the diamond-shaped pattern from this angle. Now you can really see it. Now you can see it below the chin, that diamond pattern, genuine ivory. But you can see the dry lines in it. And I can tell, just because I'm used to and know this material, that this is actually mammoth ivory. So this is carved, it's called fossil ivory. So this is carved from an ancient mammoth tusk. And in Alaska and in Siberia, they are finding these mammoth tusks buried. And remember, our last ice age, and mammoths only roamed the earth 10 to 15,000 years ago. They went extinct. So not that long ago, that is not even the blink of an eye in geologic time. Yeah, you can see those diamond-shaped patterns really well across there. So this is your little lesson. If you find a piece like this, and there you turn it on the end, and you can see from the end of the way it was carved, and you see little what would look like porous open holes, that is bone. That is the marrow of bone, and that's how you spot something that is bone. We'll have those little pitted points, just like if you ever looked at the marrow or cross section of a bone, beef bone or large dog bone, you'll see those areas, and that is how you can spot bone. And so this is the real deal. Very, very old ivory and legit to wear. And I wanted everyone to see this because when I saw that diamond pattern showing so well, it was a great opportunity to give you a little lesson on ivory, scrimshaw, and the difference in between bone and what you look for in ivory. All right. Now, yes, sir, you can ask a question.
What kind of tool would they use?
So, yeah. It's amazing the work that they did to actually
That's super fine.
yeah, it's super fine, but if you do mess up, you can hide it in the carving of it, so that's somewhat helpful. But some of them the different colors. This is one, a real rare one because of other colors used. Most all the time it's only a black antiquing, and they'll use just a really, really sharp pinpoint piece of metal. Ivory is very soft, so a hardness of 5 in a piece of metal, and that you could carve down to a fine point. You could just, with a little force, press on that, and you hand carve it. No mechanized tools. And you do it after you get the polish on the piece. Then, because if you tried to polish it afterwards, you would be polishing into and away from what you've already cut. So it is very time consuming and a lost work of art due to the artisans not being able to work in genuine ivory. So, I mean, they use bone or they use walrus tusks and some other choices they have. Mammoth ivory is becoming something that is not as accepted as it used to be even. So, anything to do with the word ivory sends some people over the edge. But this is acceptable to me, and I have a real low threshold for accepting things that shouldn't be marketed. I just don't believe them. But a piece like this is acceptable. It's fossilized ancient ivory, and the piece was done long before any of the current regulations are in place, and it's a lost art, especially multicolored pieces like that. That is when I saw that, I don't think she realized what she had when she bought it, because she didn't pay that much for it, and that can often happen. People in antique pieces, they just don't know what they have, and they, like me, sell it for a little more than what they might have in it, or don't know what they have in it. She got a wonderful deal. When she told me she remembered what she paid, she got a wonderful deal. I told her I'd give her $5 extra on her profit. Item 124, 5425. So speaking of carving, speaking of beauty, speaking of unique, let me show you this guy right here. This guy right here. Now, hold on. I am going to make it easier for you to see in just a moment, because I am going to backlight this. This is one of the last ones I have of the fish. And this is carved beautifully out of sapphire. And here you go. And let me show you what makes this, to me, so completely attractive and gets my motor going. Look at, as I backlight this, look at the crystal form. Wait a second. I may have to use this light. Okay. If you can help follow me right here to the front. Okay. Look at that perfect 6-sided shaped blue crystal that you see. Hold on. That you almost see in this. And that is what makes it so stunning. This is from Horse Gully, and you look at that. You can see how it is, the greenish yellow sapphire is carved around a center blue sapphire, and you can see the crystalline shape to that perfectly. And in using it to go along with the tropical fish look, was a very clever carver to do it that way. And isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, yeah. Chuck is going to dabble with carving some stone, so it would be great to work up to something like that, wouldn't it? Yeah. You can see how, look at that. That is they're not even mining material like this anymore. This is super old. Oh yeah, so I even have it in there, mined in the 80s. And so it's just not available. And I ran across these a long, long time ago, and I've just hung on to them. So if anyone wants in on this one, Get it now, because I had others and all of them sold. I think all the others I offered sold. So this is mentioned, of course, with a large internal crystal that you see as with the sapphire. So beautiful, beautiful fish. And to offer it at a discount is shameful, but I will. I'll mark it down to only $98. $98. So yeah, when you figure price per carat on that, just over $10 a carat for that kind of item, that's a jewel. Now, let me show you. I have something. It's item 120 4224, 120 4224, and this is another piece that is super rare, but has gone without another family. And let's bring out the cat's eye in this emerald. This is a cat's eye emerald, which is let me check that number. Let me sit that right there. And 120 4224. Is that? Oh, yep, there we go. Okay. Let me show you. Look at that nice even colored. And the cat's eyes in emeralds are never strong. They're always a faint. There you go. You can see it right there. So let me get this oriented right. And we may go ahead and kill the kicker and let's use a single light. Here we go. And then you have to orient it. And then when you see it, there it is right there. So let me get it oriented with the light and try to bring that out more for you. It is there. There you go. You can see that cat's eye nicely coming across there. And there it is right there. So that is about as strong of a cat's eye in emeralds. Now remember, this is an emerald. And of course, if it was clear, completely clear, clean, which is almost impossible in emeralds, you wouldn't have the cat's eye. It is inclusions that create that, fibrous inclusion. So you can see that right down the middle, and you can see as I turn it this way as well. So that is a decent cat's eye. The price I'm going to make on this, thank you, sir, is going to be what sells it, because it's a phenomenal opportunity on this gem if you want to add to an emerald collection. This one is going to be affordable. Look at that eye. It was already affordable at the price I had offered it before, and now it is going to be a lot less. I'm going to make that one only crazy. 3.35 carat. How about this? $50 a carat makes it 100 and what does it make it? 150 plus. Well, you know what? Let's do this. That'll make it simple. I am just going to make this only $148. That's well below easy math. $148. That is a gem, a real gem. Okay, now next, yeah, here we go. This has been an opportunity I've offered, but price, I guess, has not been right. We're going to make the price right on this for you opal lovers. First, you're going to get an opportunity. Look at these. Now, if you've ever seen Ethiopian opal in the rough, you know that it can change dramatically when a little water is put on it. It absorbs it and becomes hydrophane, but you just wet it to get the look of the opal in general. And you can see that all these are definitely cutting quality, but if nothing else, they're also just fantastic to have for specimens. And, you know, as I put the water on it, you can actually see it absorb the water. The water just disappears because of the hydrophane properties. Now, this is also included in this opportunity. Look at this. So you have a couple crazed stones. You have a really large black opal here. And, oh, yep. That was item, wow, what a deal. Item 118-9724, 118-9724. And this is the big one that catches my attention that is going to be, look at that. So that just needs a little trim up there, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with this stone. That is Lightning Ridge black opal. And then look at these. Some of these have some little craze lines in them, but they're still great for a collection. Basically, I am offering that beauty right there, along with some others that you can play around with or recut into different shapes to avoid the craze lines. And then the Ethiopian opals, all this, you're not going to believe it, $38. I kid you not, $38. That is a deal. Okay, let me have a moment to clean this up, and I'll be right back. Check this out. If you want something big, look at the size of my hand. This is, called a cabinet specimen. That's what they refer to by way of the size. Actually, it's called. This would be a larger than cabinet quality specimen. This is stunning. If you saw the one a few weeks back that we featured, it sold, rightfully so, and I'm sure the client is thrilled with it because what makes this so amazing, and I was just showing for a moment, this actually completely blue if you put a black light on it, a fluorescent light. This green turns blue. Now, fluorite gets its name because of its fluorescence. It happens to have fluorine in it also, but all those names went together and how fluorite got its name. So it's known to fluoresce, but to fluoresce to the degree that this does, I haven't seen many because it is like a stunning blue that is remarkable across. Now, Madagascar, it is not known for fluorite. Of all the things that Madagascar has, it's amazing that it is not better known for fluorite. This is a fairly recent discovery. Look at that big crystal with that really neat extra face on the corner. Look at how well the isometric form of the crystals that fluorite forms in. And look at even this one, you can see the different colors, like the phantom layers of growth in that. And look at how well formed all of these crystals are. This is a remarkable specimen, and I have it at a huge discounted price. You can see this was mined in 2018 and from the exact mine that it is from. And look at the substantial size of the crystals. You can see it's got a solid bottom, so it sits well. There's the back side of it, so it can display easily, nicely in the cabinet, and it is a major looking specimen. I have brought the price of this down tremendously to only $228. $228. I'm looking at this little crystal right here, and I don't know, things just stand out to me. I guess it was the two different colors of it. An angle I'm looking at from here, it looked a little bit purple. So this is a piece you can have a lot of fun with. Look, there's crystal growth everywhere. In other words, this could actually be peeled back off the fluorite if you wanted to, but you would be removing some of the fluorite growth that is in the matrix on top of it. Just a wonderful, wonderful specimen for a super discounted opportunity. Okay, next. I'm going to get moving quicker here because I got a lot I wanted to show you. Item 125-1425. 125-1425. I was going to wait till August to show this, but I'm not. I'm going to offer it right now. Look at this. Look at this. This is one of the largest peridots. Now, peridot can be really expensive, and large sizes in peridot are extremely rare. Look at the sizes, and inclusions in peridot are common. It's actually real fun to look at some of the inclusions because they're well defined and crystallized also. So I am going to let whoever gets this have the fun of investigating it. Look at the size of this. This is remarkable. Also, the double refraction. You see the splitting of the back facets from the high birefringence of this piece. This is stunning. It's also a Burma peridot. Rare, rare size. This also has what peridot is known to have, and that's the lily pad inclusions. And one of the ways to tell a real peridot, and those are those, they look like lily pads. You can see a couple of them floating right down there. There's 3 of them right there. And if we turn these at a different direction, you'd see them at a different angle. But I'll leave that for you to discover. This piece also, one other thing, let's check to see, because peridot is made up of something that does this. Look at that. Even on the felt, it pulls. So on the glass, here is your way to tell if it is a peridot, or at least whether it is or not, because if it does not have a magnetic attraction, as you can see, that one does. So we are looking at a peridot. There we go, as we drag it right along. And the higher the iron content, the more yellow you get. So this particular color is of a classic Burma color, and where you can get the size is large enough to cut a stone this big. So the inclusions, the size really add the value. I'm going to offer this at a big discount, and I just don't know why. I hope someone takes advantage of it. It is an amazing gem for the size that it is, and I'm dropping the price on this to only $128. $128. Giant discount from the $20 a carat that it should be, down to $10 a carat. Wow. Let's look at item 1250-625 with trepidation, because I can't see 6s and 8s. Yep, 1250, 625. And this, let's see what we have. Oh, never know until I unwrap them myself. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the irises. That is a beauty. It is huge. Oh, look at that. With the tantalite crystals versus how you tell the difference, well, tantalite will usually taper towards the end to a point. You can see that right there versus schorl. Schorl won't do that, being black tourmaline. Look at that. Tantalite actually has rare earth elements in it as part of its makeup, tantalite and columbite together, containing tantalum. Look at the etched area here. This is where a hot hydrothermal solution comes through the pocket and will actually dissolve away or etch the crystal. This oftentimes leads to other crystals forming in the etched area, or the crystal, as the crystal tries to repair itself. Look at, you have a sidecar crystal sitting right there on the edge, again, very attractively. This is a classic, beautiful Irango Namibian aqua specimen. Quite impressive. It's very large in size, and with the discount I'm going to offer on this, a fantastic buy at only $88. I am doing some serious discounting here, so if you ever wanted to pick up something very valuable, very inexpensively, that one would fit that description. Here is a piece, item 120-9724. And you can't imagine how actually rare this is to get. Sticking with the same color, look at that, we're in that same range. A barite crystal, an actual blue barite crystal by itself. Normally they're attached to a cluster or whatnot. So if you want the rare barite, blue barite crystals coming out of Morocco.
Got a lot of iris on it, too.
Yeah, yeah, a little iris. You can see the how barite can actually form a kind of a saddle shape. Yeah, look at all those rainbows in that. That is full of it. That's actually quite pretty. Look at all those. Wow. That's like a stained glass window. That's really gorgeous, actually. Yeah, shattered stained glass window. Now, those are the verbs, adjectives we try to avoid, Asif, when presenting as a host. Shattered is not a good sounding word in the retail market. Shattered. But accurate, yes. But we avoid those words. Look at that. That is actually really cool to see that. So I was going to mark it down, but now I don't know if I should. Okay, I will anyway. Make it only $24. Only $24. That is, if I probably would have shown it like that when I first showed it, I probably would have sold it. I just don't remember it being so pretty. I don't know. Maybe we need to shatter some more. Isn't there a song, Shatter, Shatter?
Yeah, it's
It's Rolling Stones. Yeah. There you go. Oh, that went with the peridot, by the way. That might help. Okay. Let me move on from. Oh, this. Take a look. Item number 125-5125. And again, for a moment, let's use that. Yeah. Yep. Stones, Rolling Stones. I didn't even think of that. Rolling Stones. Stones. Yes, we're showing Stones. Wow. Yep, there you go. Sing it. Look at that. Wouldn't that be? Look at a barite crystal base for a spinel crystal feature. Yeah, like a pearl in a shell. Now, what descriptive word are you going to come up with this one, Asif, that, doesn't sell the piece? There you go. It's a combination deal. Actually, that's quite pretty doing it that way. All right. So as not to confuse everyone, we'll take that away. And here we have, look at that. That is stunning. A pink orange Mohenge Tanzanian specimen here. And you can see the bipyramidal crystal form to it. Again, etching actually eating away some of the crystal here as well. And but that color, that is a beautiful, unique color. And I have a amazing price, $44 now. $44 is what it's down to. So this was one of the, remember the What Am I's, and I was still offering for sale. Here's another one, item number 125-5225, 125-5225. That is a surprise, because how often are you ever going to get a chance to, look at this, buy a piece of natural color morganite? Peach colored morganite, facet grade quality, and beautifully clean. And let me put it against, let's see, something here so you can actually see a little bit better. Here we go, the peach color to it. And look at that. Natural color, not like so much of the morganite is, which is created to make it that color. Oh, you won't say how. Okay, price on this, discounted. Why not? Make it only $28. Super discount. And one more, item 125-5325, 125-5325. This was another opportunity to get in on a stunning sapphire. Rough, look at that. Yeah. Look at that piece of rough sapphire. No one got this. This is, remember me showing this? This was a What Am I too? Yeah. No. I know. I don't want to move the black background. I'm in a hurry. Look at that. Look at that. That is facet quality sapphire. And then look at this black star sapphire. You can tell it's a star. See that reflection going across there? So even if you don't cut stones, what a great piece for the collection to show people what a rough black star sapphire looks like. That is gorgeous.
What is that on? I look like that.
Yeah. Okay. So it is an alluvial piece. So this one is probably actually, I have Madagascar for the blue sapphire. I don't have an origin on the black star, but this is most likely from Thailand, from the Bo Poi mine, which I've been out to. And it's more alluvial. So this has been in water somewhere along the way to round the edges and soften it up. And so that's why most likely probably Thai. Beautiful, beautiful stone though. And then that you saw the true color of the sapphire. And I would venture to bet that, wow, if this piece was not heat treated, then it is a real jewel, and I'm foolish to not cut it myself. And then look at that. Cut right, that'd be stunning. Okay, so here you go. You get the set, the two stones marked down, shouldn't be, to here. Let's do something, Shawn, show your stupidity, and make them both $44. $44. All righty, that's why we're doing a show and go and a sale. And all right, 1217 724. 1217 724. We talk about this material a lot. We just showed you a beautiful piece of material earlier that now when you see the cabochon of it, you can understand exactly how it got to this color. Untreated Democratic Republic Congo chrysocolla. And wow, what a beautiful, beautiful representation of chrysocolla with some green, which might be just a little bit of malachite, some copper carbonate mixed in with it. But that's a stunning color. You see that rich blue? That's the color of chrysocolla that I showed you, the wet look on that other piece. So this quality chrysocolla is actually has value, is worth something. A lot of the material relative to its weight is much less expensive, not this. But I am still marking this down to $16. If you want to, yeah, yeah, even Raven knows. What? $16? Okay. Let me show you as I do some crazy discounting here on some pieces. Item number 1245.24. 1245.24. Look at this, two amethyst cabs. One, look at that neat bicolor look going through there. And we won't take them out, but you can have a lot of fun with those. You could facet them if you want. And how about this for a discount? Making those two stones only $16. $16. Now, let's continue. I have a parcel I put together, and I know there's some of you out there that wait for me to offer my diamonds, my earth mine diamonds, because you know how inexpensive they are, and have been. Every parcel I offer gets sold. Item 1258025. 1258025, and I have another parcel here that is one of the best deals I have put together. I'm having to type this in. Okay, not going to take them out of the, but you get to see the color of them, which is, look at that. Look how bright those are. So they are on a yellowish, because it's an old parcel, a yellowish background, as you can see that. Probably not great for diamonds. Oh, yeah, or anything. But actually, that's on my screen. On the screen they say that you're seeing, it's whiter. So maybe they don't look as bad as the way I'm looking at. No, these are actually, you can see the color range. So these are H to I in color and SI clarity. This one, that one might be a little light, what they call a TLB, top light brown. But it is a great comparison for shopping. Look how big comparison for shopping in different sizes and colors. They range from 2 millimeters to 2.7 millimeters, 85 point total earth mined diamonds. That is going to be something hard to find one of these days before long, because they are shuttering and closing diamond mines around the globe. And the proliferation of lab-grown diamonds has been such that the only publicly traded company opened up its IPO at over $12 a share, I think, and is now trading at less than 1 cent a share. And that was only 2 years ago. The company lost all of its value and its NASDAQ listing because it couldn't stay over $1 for more than 30 days. It has tumbled, and it's because they are bringing on more and more of diamond producing. They go by different names depending on what type of, whether it's chemical vapor deposition to grow them, or whether it is HTHP. But either way, the number of reactors, they call them, that have come online and that are coming online weekly is crazy. It uses up so much energy that people, if they're thinking they're buying lab-grown diamonds to be green, no. That's why there's one big company in India that's building a solar electric generation field power, whatever you want to call it, next to their reactors so that they can generate their own power, because of the amount of and cost of the electricity to create the diamonds. Not green as people think. So these are earth mined anyway, and I have them at such a discounted opportunity for you. Take advantage of it. These are going to be only $150 a carat, which is only $127 for the parcel. $127 for all those diamonds, earth mine diamonds. What an opportunity. What an opportunity. Take advantage of them. I would not be able to sell them at the price if I did not get them through what I call breakouts, through breaking jewelry out. And before I scrap metal, that's just a process. You know, jewelry wears out. It becomes something that you have to choose. And so if you've never seen this, I want you to kind of understand what the end product of a lot of jewelry becomes over time. This is a bag of scrap. And there is things in here that are going to get melted that you would, like complete rings. Everything there, that's a Tiffany and Company. I know you're going to think I'm nuts, but with the price of silver and whatnot, you make a decision, and then you only can hang on to scrap for so long before you realize it's like you have a lot of money in it. And let me just show you this to give you an example, because it becomes important when you realize how much value you have and didn't realize it. Right there. Now, why am I scrapping that? I could take the time to polish all that up, clean it all up, clean all this up, and for what? To get a little bit above the value of the scrap. There's a lot of this particular style. So you have to make those decision calls. Let me show you something else. This was really cool, and it was full. I mean, it was in perfect shape, and I thought it was really cute. Okay, so you can see what this says. Only thimble full. So this is, oh, yeah, only a thimble full. Only a thimble full. So, haha, you can see how big this was. It had a dent on the bottom. Because of that one reason, this really cool shot glass, I'm the one that smashed it this way. That's why it says only a thimble full. Yeah. Yeah, this is what they use for. Yeah, so you tell your wife, I only had a thimble full. And you're gonna find this such cool stuff in here. I have to always fight people from taking stuff out of scrap, and what I have to do, I break it. I break it. So I break it so that the refiner isn't tempted to keep it or swap it out. And so this wasn't dented. This was a perfectly good. Look at this. Yeah, ice teaspoon or whatever they call it. It's a straw. It's a straw and a stirring spoon. But again, polish it, clean it up, do all this and that, and then you make how much? Not much. This bracelet, she wore this bracelet for a long time. She wore it so long, and Raven's wrist is so small that she would open and close it, bend these closed. Well, over time, right there, you can see and this is a warning to everybody, she broke the metal from metal fatigue. That can happen. All right, much more I could go over in here, but see the bracelet? Broke it out. Yeah, there you go. Buy the bag. Yeah. Guess the weight. Yeah, it's really remarkable because look at things like this. I have a complete set. This is solid. The weight of this is incredible. Look at the markings. Look how well made this is. Yeah, if someone collected turtles, they're going to hate it because I'm melting that guy down. He's got two other brothers and sisters that go with him. And $2. Oh, look at this. Look at this. That is a solid silver dog. You can, yeah, and I know. But so you decide whether you might be able to sell it, can sell it, you take it out of market, and with the weight, and then you have to make the decision. Keep it or tear it up and melt it. Now, with the price of gold, here's the gold, perfectly good pair of earrings and some other scrap. When I threw them on the scales and saw how much value, it was crazy. This was the outside part to a straight edge razor that was made by the jeweler to the royal family in England, and it said all that. It said it was the royal, the type. And I looked online, look what they were going for, and you make that decision. And I decided, no, it wasn't worth it. Scrap it. So all said and done, jewelry is something that can be recycled, just as diamonds. So when I break out items like that, that's how and where I get deals on diamonds like this, and why I can sell them at the price I do. In case you wonder, well, why is he selling them? There's no way you can replace them. That's how I get them that inexpensively. My cost is low, and so I pass that on to those of you that recognize the value of only $150 a carat. So I just want to show you that there's jewelry is recyclable. It is also a commodity. Something that is bought and sold, and at some point, jewelry has a lifespan. And when its lifespan is up, then you scrap it, you take the money to create something else wonderful with. So I know a lot of people don't realize, like, wow, how that exactly happens, but when you see that bag, I think that put it into perspective for you that, yes, there comes a time when you have to make that decision on whether it's something you can sell in the show, make any money. Do you have to show it again at a discount? And in the end, are you going to, or do you just sell it for the weight of the metal now and take the money? And that's what we decided there. Item number 1227-324. 1227-324. Here is your chance to get in on another item that is very unique, white, and in color and rare, and it is. Look at that Goshenite. Look at that Goshenite, clear, facet grade quality. Look at the irises in that crystal. Beautiful. Look at the clarity to that crystal. I mean, Goshenite is colorless beryl. And look how clean that is, except with the iris down there. And it is the rarest color of beryl, as is clear acroite, tourmaline, The clear colors are the pure form without any outside impurities, and it makes it actually very rare. And look at this. Look at these really neat. If you want to know siderite, where the siderite comes from, look at those perfectly formed crystals of siderite. Now, why does that sound familiar? Because siderite was also on the Vivianite specimens, but it was a botryoidal form. This is the crystalline form with them, making it additionally really cool to have as part of that specimen. And so anyway, both crystals, facet grade, what a great collection, addition to a collection you might have. From originally named after Goshen, Massachusetts, of all places, Hampshire County, the Barris Farm, where they were first found. Price on these two, I am marking them down greatly and making them only $38 for both. $38 for both. Wow. For that kind of color and clarity, that's exceptional value. Now, let me show you. I have something this right here. Item 1259925. And let's see what we have here. Let's see. Sometimes I don't even always remember when I just see it. I have to unwrap everything. Oh, this one. I did not think I got a chance to show this beauty the other week. This is remarkable. And look at that. Look at that. That is a starry night sky of pyrite and chalcopyrite. And when I was deciding what was what, and I can now actually see it better overall looking at this to separate the chalcopyrite from the pyrite. It's actually visible in this shot. You can see the little bit of coloring, the greenish tints to that, the little darker yellow areas, the iridescence. Chalcopyrite will develop an iridescence, pyrite won't. And so this piece, as we're looking at this side, look at also the sphalerites in these cluster-like formations. It's the ruby jack color, the reddish color, very desirable. And this is also on dolomite. Let me show you this side. Yeah. So you can see, yeah, isn't that beautiful? It is a mix of chalcopyrite and pyrite. You can tell the difference when you look at the crystals and whether they have, and the formation to them. So I'll leave it to you to explore, but this is one that you can explore for a long time. This is from the well-known Joplin field, and the formation of the sphalerites in these clusters is what really separates this from, look at these, look at those, just beautiful. And so much so that if you can follow me here, let me just put a little backlighting on these to really, there we go, show off that red, intense red color, and why the miners ended up calling it ruby jack due to that color. And look at those wonderful crystal shapes. That is a really desirable specimen from a well-known mineral deposit in a place you wouldn't normally think of. Oh, there's a beautiful view. And you can see by the difference in the colors what's chalcopyrite and what's pyrite. That's pretty neat. At least in some cases you can tell, especially when they go into iridescent colors, and you know you have the chalcopyrite. Price on this is a amazing opportunity, and it's only $88. Only $88 on that. That is stunning. That is a piece that, again, in auction would end up hundreds of dollars. All right, now, as I move as quickly as I can, let me show you. Here's a good deal. Item 121, 8224. 121, 8224. And this is just going to be a quick show and go. Look at this. How about an opal? How about an opal? Look at that. Now that is a bunch of fire right there. Yeah. The other screen looks different. It looks better on this one. Okay, so you want a deal on an opal? I have one for you. How about this opal? You can see it's 1.58 carat. You're not going to believe it. $16. $16. 10 bucks a carat. Yep. That's why, the Ethiopian market, opal market, is not as strong as Australian opals. I just have to be straight up. So Australian opals are definitely the opal of choice and the opal that has held its value and gone up, whereas Ethiopian opals have had a difficult time of maintaining the price that they were first brought into the market at. And then the Wello deposit didn't run out. And they found more, and then they found more. So, plus it's a hydrophane opal, the Wello Ethiopian opal. And if anyone says African opal, unless it's a cat's eye Tanzanian opal, just know that it's from Ethiopia. They tend to not use the term Ethiopian, just like they try to stay away from the word Iranian. And so when you see African, just know that it is an Ethiopian opal, and that it will have hydrophane properties and not be as valuable look for look as an Australian opal. Let's look at something rare. 12/12/224. 12/12/224. Sounds like a date. New Year, Christmas Eve. Here, look at this. Oh, it was the very first show you and I did together. I knew that date sounded familiar. 12/12, you're right. 12/12/24. Rare Russian astrophyllite. 12/12/2024. Yeah. Huh. This is a special, powerful ring. You're right. It even has the T for that. Astrophyllite. It can contain actually rare earth elements, and it's always usually found in the attractive form like this, when it is in a matrix of quartz. Again, a silver ring. Now, things like this, look at that. I will decide at some point if it doesn't sell, well, I scrap the silver. I mean, and then I sell the stone separately if no one wants to buy it as a ring. But I am going to make it such a good deal as a ring that it would be ridiculous not to take advantage of my pricing on this, which is now only going to be sale priced for $44. $44, which breaks down to Shawn losing money. Losing money. But again, end result, I'll scrap it. Huh?
5'7"? Size 7.
Size 7, yes. Sold? You got it. You're right. Kirby Moss. Oh my gosh, I just see that. You're right, the Kabini Massif. Massif. Oh my gosh. And 12/12/24. That's got to be yours. Okay, take that out. That's sold. Yeah. Wow. There you go. And you're right. That's why he says size 7. That's the size you wear. He has small hands like I do. He and I are the only ones that wear size 7s. Okay, well that's sold. Unbelievable. I love. Yeah. 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 That's a powerful ring. That's a powerful ring. Okay, it's yours. Here, let me show you. So almandine, for those of you wanting the quick lesson, almandine is also known as the iron garnet because it's made up of mostly iron as opposed to pyrope, which is like magnesium. So if it is a iron garnet, it should, if you can see, look at how attractive that totally picks up on the magnet. Completely picks up on the magnet. So that, you know, has a lot of iron. So that is why it's not even a blend. It's not even a rhodolite, which is a blend of pyrope and almandine. These are full almandine and a very rich color, which is what you want in the almandine. So anyway, I have these, big discount, $18 for both. $18 for both. That's why this is a special opportunity for you to get some really good deals. Now, yeah, yeah, the deal you just got is really good. Oh yeah, so you have it on your hand? You don't have to show me that. Like, it fits well. Wow, that's awesome. That's so awesome that you got to see that, and you haven't been here that often. That I showed that while you were here. It's the magic of the show, especially your finger size and with your name in it. That is nuts, man. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. All right, now I love this kind of item. 12, 21, 224. What? 12, 21, 224. Huh. Okay, so I probably did this at the same time I did the other. Look at this. Now, they call this a neolite. The Maasai do because anil is the word for green. And so that's the local name they give it. Our name we give it is Tanzanian ruby and zoisite. And here's the thing. These, what we thought were black inclusions at one time, of being a Shermakite or a type of hornblende. Well, that they were wrong. We were all wrong. I was wrong in saying it because now new science has determined that these, what aren't really black but super, super dark green, is pargasite. Pargasite. And they will fluoresce. And as does the zoisite. The zoisite, believe it or not, turns a bluish gray color. And of course, the rubies fluoresce in rich red. Look at those. Look at those. This is not painted on. These are natural rubies as part of this skull. And this material, the ruby and zoisite material itself, really difficult. I love that one with the red eye right there. Is hard to get a hold of. This is an older piece. So what an amazing opportunity I have on this. Can't believe it. Okay, so let's make it with the discount, $98. That is as low as that will ever be. And after it doesn't sell this time around, we'll probably go back to the house. The Raven has an extensive skull collection of hundreds. That's all I can say, hundreds of skulls, yes. So she's not missing out if she just doesn't have one more. But to her, one more would be great.
Ruby eye skull.
Yeah, ruby eye skull. I like that. Ruby eye. I like that streak down the face. The eye's bleeding. You guys are going to make me crazier than I already am. No, I don't have far to go. Now, let's look at item 119, 6824. 119, 6824. This looks like it was exciting. So let me see what we get. Oh, yes, definitely exciting. I know a lot of people were interested in more of these opal nodules. This is, look at the outside of it. So this is a, you know, they actually break these by hand. You can see it's not solid. So I think it's brave when they do. This is the old Maseso chocolate opal. This was the first discovery of opal in 1990 in Ethiopia, was this chocolate opal. And it was not stable. It crazed, as you can see. Some of it is cuttable. The nodules I've sold some that had no crazing. But what they mostly are incredible specimens. This is a really remarkable piece. I always like to see how the silica entered the open void. And if you look, there will always be, just like in the agate nodules, when you look at them, there's always an entrance point that goes to the surface. And you can see that in these little areas here. So this is probably how the silica filled it up. And then, you know, Mother Nature closes it. And there you have it. Almost looks like a cat with ears, a fat cat. Anyway, those colors in the chocolate opal are beautiful. It makes it like a black opal look. So I have a fantastic opportunity on this guy. You can, how about this? $38. That is a super value for that as a specimen. Look how big that is. It would also make a great piece as far as wire wraps, which I'm getting together some items and having Andrew, make some wire wrap items as he had before. And we'll see if Raven doesn't scoop them up, if any of you want them. Okay, let me show you another item before it goes. Item 1203. 224. And this, for what I'm going to offer for, you could literally take it apart and keep the silver. Look at this. The chrysoprase actually came from my friend's mine, the Kandala mine, and the dolphin. You can see how that's done, and it's cool if you just take the chrysoprase out and just do whatever you want with it and wear just the dolphin if you want. I know in tourist shops, because I've been in Australia spent many weeks in there, or in Florida, anywhere there's dolphins, a pendant of just the dolphin without the chrysoprase like this. If you had in the tourist shop where you watch the dolphins or the chrysoprase, it would be in a range of $70 or $80 at a tourist shop. And that is without the chrysoprase. It's crazy how much tourists pay for some things. But with the chrysoprase in Australia, this piece, it would be in the neighborhood of probably $150, $200. You know, because this is Australian and the dolphins, you know, that's why they had it done with a dolphin, was because, again, Australian tourism, and they have, of course, the world's largest coral reef and lots of dolphins and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is an item. I have now marked it down ridiculously. So take advantage of it because it is going to be right near scrap bag. $24. $24 for the piece. That's as low as it will possibly ever go, but that's what we're doing. We're having kind of a clearance today on some items. How about this? Here is a collector item. Amazing. Item 1176724. 1176724. Here we go. How about a bag of Triplite? I am not kidding you. And it looks, you know, if I put water in here, you would probably like it a lot better. But let me just show you. Instead of, well, maybe it needs a little water. Anyway, hang on. If I just get this a little bit wet, has a mate. There we go. See that? Look at what I mean. All the colors and look at this. Look at the valuable facet grade quality in some of this material. This was in the top 10 rarest gemstone list until I think Yerma came along or something. But I think for facet stones, it's still right up there in some of the rarest gems in the world. If it weren't for the Pakistan deposit, it would certainly still be ultra, ultra rare. There is never any nice crystal forms of this. It is always kind of rough looking like this, but as you can see, there is many opportunities for nice, valuable quality material to be in with this. And so here's this whole bag. And again, it would look great all wet, but you get the idea. How about this? You're not going to believe it. This whole bag of Triplite, $24. Only $24. That is if I did not, I had the opportunity a number of years ago, and I bought this one guy's production for the entire season. And so I'm like the Triplite King. Just like I know I'm the Japanese iridescent garnet king. Triplite would be the next thing that I have a good bit of that I'm just going to hang on to. Two more. So, okay, this is second to the last item, and it's beautiful. It's item, if I can read, I guess it is time when I can't see anymore. 118-69-24. 118-69-24. Look at this. Look at this fluorite up here. Look at how gorgeous this specimen is. Look, it is aesthetically stunning with the quartz crystals at the angles that they're at. How unique is that? Look at this. Overlaying a type of muscovite. You know muscovite mica, right? The mica that usually flaky. You saw that huge piece I found myself, and I let Corduroy have a piece off of. Yep, a very famous piece of mica that I used as a reflector for backing up for years at my house when I lived in Helen. And it was still one of the largest pieces of mica I have ever seen to come from Georgia. Well, here is a muscovite, the same type of mineral, except it is in a different form, a different habit, and looks like little rosettes. Look at the fluorite. Again, it is all about, wow, all of what is back here. Look at that, pyrite. Look at these pyrite cubes back here. What in the world? That is really unique. Along with it does. Oh, don't say that, but it does. Oh my gosh, just ruined my sale, ruined my specimen. Okay, everybody, if you didn't hear him, he said it looks like mystic topaz. And if you know me, and which all of you do, you know how I feel about treated stones, especially ones that are surface treated, diffusion treated, stuff we don't even sell here at Gem Shopping. And he said it does have a mystic topaz look. What is your mind doing even going there? Awesome. My mind didn't go to mystic topaz. I'm thinking the mystic topaz is natural. You guys stop. You know, some kind of salesman, and Asif is a host now. What kind of host is he when he talks about shattered and mystic topaz, verifying that it's real? I mean, meanwhile, I'm trying to promote Asif as a straight up honest host. I guess that is. Shucks. That's it. That's it. I'm going to start calling you someone else's. So I'm going to call you by some other person's name in a minute when you keep creating minds that you've discovered. Oh, I could take some shots. Purple egg. Oh man. This is a beautiful. You know what? This is going to probably be my last one if I keep laughing about it any longer. All right, this is actually a really remarkable, very attractive specimen, and there's no mystic topaz on it, regardless of what Asif said. It is also, you can see the name of the mine. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but the W and the SN means it is a tungsten and tin mine. I'd be the only one that tell you what the chemical symbols mean for tungsten and tin, since none of them relate. The W is for wolfram, an old name for tungsten. Anyway, this specimen, oh boy, is ridiculously underpriced at $44 for the sale price. And the very last item of the show, I should get two more now after holding me up. Item 124.9225. 124.9225. And here is another one of those surprise specimens that did not sell previously That's if I showed it. I think I did, but sometimes I don't always know. Either way, it's going to get discounted from the price I have on it. And I tell you what, this is a rarity. There is not much more of this material. A lot of it actually was bulldozed to get to gold that was underneath the rhodochrosite deposit. Look at that. That is, did I give you the item number on that? Item 1249225. All right, rhodochrosite, Argentina rhodochrosite. This is a very well-known deposit in Argentina that everyone typically thinks rhodochrosite looks like, unless you have, of course, seen the Sweet Home rhodochrosites when they were, quote, discovered from Colorado. Facet grade, of course, stunning, beautiful. But this is the carvable material. This is what you really need to carve, Chuck. Something soft and easy to polish and quick to cut. Here, it's the end piece. So it's the end piece, which I really always like. You can see someone took a little piece out of it right there. But beautiful banding in it and cuts. Wonderful cabochons. This is the manganese carbonate rhodochrosite, and here is an opportunity. I am dropping the price on this one. Someone take advantage of it. Rhodochrosite is not inexpensive. This is old stock too, from the 1980s. I'm going to make this one a real seller for somebody at only $44 for the slice. Big discount from what I had it priced at. And I guess with that, I'll have to say goodbye, but come right back for the gem. What am I? See you in a moment. All right. As mentioned, this is the gemstone. What am I? We've done mineral specimens, we've done mixed, but this is all gemstones, cut gemstones. So I think there's 11, giving everyone ample choices. And I'm also going to go through each one real quick just to add a little extra information. So starting off left to right, we have this gem right there. That one, well, if any additional help besides like the family name, you could tell me, like a particular type of family name would be helpful and additional credit to you on it. So in other words, instead of just saying, let's say something is a barrel, mention what type of barrel. Just don't say barrel. Mention whether it's an aquamarine or an emerald or goshenite or something like that. So we're looking for a specific type of gem name, not a broad family name. So this is the first one right here. This one, that's kind of a giveaway by the color. Then we have this. Look at that lovely pink. This happens to be drilled, though you don't often see them as beads. A wonderful pink color. This one you're probably going to be familiar with. It's a well-known green stone with little reflective specks in it, as you can see right there. This one, now some of these are going to be available for you to purchase at some point. I don't know about this one though. This one has a, whoops, let me grab that. Has a strong red fluorescence, and it has a stunning crystalline inclusion in it. This gem is known for unique inclusions and often is heat treated to improve the color and quality of it. This is a beautiful gem, and its sparkle has to do a lot with it being a very doubly refractive stone. Now this one, I think you don't need any help with. You can see the bicolor nature to it. That should be a giveaway. Now, oh, yeah, sorry about that. You're right. I was going ahead of myself. Look at this. This stone, you can see, has multiple colors in it, including yellows and greens, though it was cut for the valuable color face up. Then this gem, This color is found in several different green stones. This particular stone does not fluoresce and is not magnetic. This next gem is something you don't see too often, has a nice strong cat's eye in it, and is found mostly from only one location. This stone is a easy one for all of you, as you can look at that beautiful reflection out of it. And then the last one is this one. And in this size and quality, it is a lot more valuable than they used to be. All right. There we have it. And good luck to all of you. The clues, I think, will help you some, just to get your brain focused in one particular direction. So good luck to all of you. And I thank all of you for the many, many years of support that you have given me. So this show was set up as a more of a show and tell than a show and sell. But the sell part is really important. So for those of you that really enjoy the show, but and maybe have participated and won a lot of different free items and whatnot, it would be greatly appreciated, though it's never required to make a purchase, but even a small purchase can make a difference for me. So I ask for your support in all manners, including the occasional purchase, and do the like and subscribe as if you haven't already, and do subscribe. That way you'll get notices when the show is posted, and or if I, for whatever reason, don't make it to a show or get to do a show for illness or whatnot, you'll be notified of that as well. So you're not sitting there waiting for the show to come out, like I know a lot of you are interested in doing. So grab the goodies today. I marked down items in a very serious way. We got a lot more shown than we normally do, and I appreciate the support from Asif and Chuck and Latif, and of course the Raven. So thank you. Thank all of you. I hope everyone had a blessed Easter and Easter week and holiday week, and are enjoying the spring. For me, down here in the South, the heat comes a little too quickly. So for those of you in the North, enjoy the cool weather as you can, because I'll end up wishing it was down here. Maine. Maine is where I'd love to live. For the food, the people are wonderful, and it is a gemstone state. Yes. All right. Take care, all of you. And I have another fantastic show planned for you next week, and I can't wait to be able to bring it to you. See you then. Take care.